Welcome back to the Marketing Madmen. Trip Job and Nick Constantino here with Jamie Arnold of the Golf House Academy. And, really great story. And I think you've done all of this. I mean, like you said, you just went live 4 months ago, roughly. And, so much that you've accomplished. How are you thinking about the rest of 2024? And then what does the future hold?
Yeah, I think for the rest of 2024, we're just trying to get a really good staff in there and do what we do best, which is giving good golf lessons and giving people a great experience. Looking past, if everything does if it keeps trending the way we're trending, this isn't just a golf problem in Atlanta. I see, if you said fast forward 10 years from now, I'd love to have one of these in most major cities. There's no reason we couldn't have one in Tampa or Jacksonville, Dallas, Knoxville, Birmingham, Nashville, and, on and on. The long-term picture is, it's blue sky thinking, but there's a lot of guys that come off tour or don't make it on the PGA Tour that have got a lot of great skills and love golf, and they're good communicators, and they've got a lot of knowledge that they can teach. And there's a lot of communities that have a lot of golfers. So I think that, the legs on this are really long, but we got to kind of get our first one up and going. And then once we do, look at, okay, what's our next step, and, keep building it.
Yeah, I imagine just all the mixed use, the malls and stuff that are losing. This would be a great thing to go into an old mall, pop in a location where you already have foot traffic coming in, people seeing you for the first time. Your space, you can probably go even shrink it down or even go bigger if you needed to because of the way it's scalable. So I think you guys have set something up great, and I do think it's hyper competitive now, but I think the way you're differentiating yourself is really important. One, you've embraced the community. Again, most people I feel like are just cash grabs. Two, you can be multiple things. You want to have a beer while you putt, have a beer while you have a putt. If you want it to be really super serious and formal, we have a whole room for that. If you want to watch, you can be that. So you're being a lot of things to a lot of people, which I think is something that most people say they want to do, but they're not capable of.
And for Nick, there's no dress code, so we're in good shape.
You don't even know how good my golf game has gone. First of all, I've learned two things. One, it's about etiquette. Two, it's about how you dress. So those are the first two things I fixed. From that point on, people were less concerned with my horrible golf game because I was dressing appropriately and I was acting somewhat appropriately. I was a little pissed. I got to play Peachtree a couple weeks ago. They don't let you play music anywhere on the course. And I was a little pissed off because it's like, who says I'm going to go blasting hip-hop music with the subwoofer going?
Yeah,
like,
Nick might play Sinatra.
I always play Sinatra. That's how I calm myself down. It's more Dizzy Gillespie, and I play a little Dizzy Gillespie and Mingus. But anyway, so let's talk. The future of Golf House is great. You're at some point, you're going to probably slow down playing golf, be more involved in the business. What does the future of golf look like? What does LIV, the tour, do you feel like we're on the upswing? Because one of the things I've noticed, Topgolf and a lot of these things have helped the sport because they're bringing new people into the game. But I don't think the new people are going to be converting into full-time golfers as much as people think because of those cost barriers, right? It's really expensive to do it. I'm not saying Topgolf isn't, but we've convinced ourselves that as long as we're drinking and having beers and a good time, then it's okay to spend money, right? If you're not good at golf and you're going out and playing 18, it's not always fun. Sometimes it's horrible to realize how bad you are when you get out there. So what do you see about the future of the sport, and how do you think that will help or hurt your prospects with Golf House?
I think the future of golf and what's going on right now in professional golf is probably totally separate to the people that we cater to and service. Right. Who knows? That's probably the $3 billion question right now of what the PGA Tour.
That's why we're paying you the big bucks. Predictions, baby. That's why we're paying you the big.
And with the PIF Saudi fund. So I don't know where we were supposed to have that all wrapped up at the end of last year. Who knows how close they are or not close they are. In predictions, Topgolf. It's sports entertainment, right? So people. You said it right. People go to Topgolf and they don't mind spending $100 because they had 4 beers or got a plate of wings or a pizza and they hit targets. They make it fun. But for us, our whole thing is versatility and flexibility. We can have a corporate event going on, a beginner kids clinic, and a private lesson, something else, all going on at the same time right around you, and you wouldn't know. So I think we're trying to capture the people like, hey, whether you like golf or you're great at it, there's something here for everybody, and just come here and check it out, and
Well, and I think you're trying to understand your different audience types and what's important to them. And I've said this many times. I was wrong on Topgolf. From day one when it came into Atlanta, which was one of the very early locations, I was thinking at it myopically and not as, their marketing side of things. And they were thinking of much broader audience. I was thinking at it from a golfer perspective and absolutely was wrong about it. But I think what you're doing and what sometimes businesses do forget is they think about it in only one way. And it sounds like you're listening to your customers, you're thinking about it, that flexibility standpoint and different types of customers and how that can meld with your vision.
Yeah, and I think too, like looking at LIV, just specifically, they're not catering. They're not really catering to specifically the PGA Tour, catering just to golfers, like people that are into golf. LIV saying, hey, the exact same thing. Like they're really being the top golf of professional golf. They're saying,
there's always a musician, a concert or something in Nashville coming up. They got Dan and Shay. They're always doing a concert. They're always doing something to make it.
And also the other thing too is like, think how many people go to the Kentucky Derby that never watch the races, or they go to a football game that they don't even never been to the team. They go to a baseball game.
I mean, make it in the stadium half the time.
So they're there to say they got the T-shirt or the hat.
Yeah, they're creating an experience, an event, and they're bringing people to the sport that necessarily really hasn't been a target audience. So that's where it's going to be really interesting. They're definitely doing that. But yeah, I mean, look, we all know there's not one way to do things. And I think competition in anything is great. So we'll see where it goes. It's going to be kind of fascinating to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I even a lot of times wonder about the golf equipment side, and can they continue to change and pump out every year? But it seems like there's people who are willing to pay.
Well, have you ever seen somebody who's hit an 8-year-old driver and then hits a new driver? I mean, I've seen it and they're like, what the hell is this? I mean, just the new tech, the way it's weighted and everything. So I don't think you need to buy every year, but every 3-4 years. Well, that's the point,
but they come out every year. Yeah, no, 8 years, absolutely, but there are people I know
we
who
have
are
a
out
guy
there
here that's
every
still
year
hitting a freaking persimmon wood because he's so stupid and ignorant that he wants to keep hitting it because he thinks, oh, I don't play enough to buy it. I'm like, yo, you can buy a club for $12 on eBay that will outperform this piece of crap falling apart golf club. I'm talking to you, Colin. So I have one last question, and we're going to go a little off topic here. So one of the things I find fascinating, when I play golf, you're always playing with people who are either better than you or successful or wealthy, and they always have so much advice. And it's usually so piss poor, the advice that they give, that I'm getting. So one of the ones I have had success with is relax. Don't hold the club so tight because when you're tense, you never hit.
Just don't let it go on the screen.
For the club's the ball's supposed to go, not the club. What about, so for somebody, call it, I've cleared 100 4 or 5 times in my life. Like, right, I can play if I'm on or I don't drink too much. Give a couple of tips just here. Just give a couple of tips.
I mean, the first thing is, make sure you grip. The ball always goes wherever starts wherever the club's pointing, and the only relationship you have with that is a grip. So 9 times out of 10, the people that come in and see us, their grip is not correct. So really, it's everybody over here wants to start on the 6th floor and work their way up, and we kind of just say to them, hey, you got to start on the ground floor, and that's with the grip trainer. All of our clubs have got grip trainers on them, so it shows you exactly how to grip it.
That would be very helpful. I got to come see you. That'd be a good place to start, huh?
Start with your feet together and start turning and just learning the basics of how the club swing. That's
and how you hit it. My biggest thing I only tell people after 4 or 5 holes is if you always hit it right to left or you always hit it left to right, do you have a target 6 inches in front of you? So if you hit it right to left, you're not already starting on the left side of the fairway. So many people don't even understand alignment principles.
Yeah, and they get worse. So like someone starts slicing it, they aim further left.
Yeah.
So they'd be better off to aim to the right, which is the opposite. So everything in golf is the opposite.
That's where equipment actually helped. Because what I was doing that, then all of a sudden my dad was like, "Get me a club." I got a club that was a foot that accounted for that draw, and I started hitting the ball straight and learn from it. So
this is awesome. And so if you want to learn more about golf, you want to just check it out. Check out Golf House Academy. And Jamie Arnold, thanks for joining us. You've been listening to the Marketing Madmen on Extra 106.3.